Hi, Jay.
Hi, Reed.
Some guys obviously grabbed a lot of headlines last night for their performances. I'm wondering how you felt about the all-around contributions, depth players' contributions. Are you able to, especially through the first 40 minutes, come in waves like you would like?
Yeah, I thought we got really good efforts from everybody. And, you know, normally a coach comes in and says, oh, all 20 contributed, but that doesn't include the goaltender who didn't start the game. But all 20 contributed yesterday, including Mikko, who came in and gave us some good minutes when Mike Smith was pulled out of the game. I thought the Ryan McLeod line with Fogle and Yamamoto was really effective. I thought Zach Cassian, Josh Archibald, Derek Ryan gave us good minutes. And then some unheralded guys on the back end are just doing some really important things for our group. Brett Kulak and Tyson Berry's done a heck of a job defending, and yeah, we're getting lots of really good efforts up and down the lineup.
I wonder if you can give us a little bit of insight into, as a coach, the process of tweaking and always looking for improvement, especially since in the playoffs you rarely, if ever, actually have a full practice on the ice.
Yeah, I think you have to pick your spots on how you're going to get better. I've said this before. We're trying to get a little bit better each day. We've been very consistent in our messaging right from when Dave and I came up from Bakersfield about getting better every day and having that type of growth mindset. And I think when you're looking for those marginal gains each and every day, you got to find ways to get better. So sometimes it's how you travel. Sometimes it's how you regenerate. Sometimes it's how you meet. Sometimes it's how you practice. Sometimes it's how you play in the game. So for us today, we had some good meetings. Some guys went on the ice here. And our focus is on being the best we can be heading into game number 4.
Hi, Jay. This is obviously invaluable experience for your whole team, the young guys, even McDavid and Draisaitl. Can you kind of speak to the evolution that you're seeing in your team as you go deeper and deeper into this thing?
Yeah, I think our team has a very clear understanding of what it takes for us to be successful. I think we have a clear understanding of what our team identity is. And I've said this before, but I don't think we're anywhere near playing towards our full potential yet.
And you talk about experience. You already have the experience of being up 2-1 in a series with a chance to go up 3-1. It didn't go so well for you. Is that the message going forward heading into game 4?
Well, I think for us, you know, as a coaching staff, we consciously assign relevance to certain things. And for us, our important pieces of our day-to-day were on gearing our team up to play our best game tomorrow. And so we spent a lot of time thinking about the message we were sending to our players. We had a good meeting, and we'll be ready.
Jay, there's lots of new faces, but you have the unique perspective of having been here before, both within this season and also from the group that you've seen previously. What sort of maturation have you seen from the group along the way?
Yeah, and Frank, it's been a little bit different too, because some of those guys I got to see enter the organization as young players in Bakersfield, and I've seen their progression to where they're at now. And then others, I was in Edmonton when the core group of Oiler players were very young in their careers. I've seen all of those young men grow and mature, not only physically, which they're growing into their you know, bodies and their skill sets, but intellectually and emotionally and mentally in their approach to the game. I've seen not only growth from my first experience with each player, but I've seen growth in the last 3 months. You know, let's be honest, the regular season, there were some trials and tribulations for this team, some of which I was here for, some of which I wasn't here for. But what I saw was a hardening of the group, a group coming together and concentrating on how to solve problems and come up with solutions. And when Dave and I came up from Bakersfield, we found a group that was very open to some new things. And over time, we've slowly built our game. And as I said earlier, I don't think we've played our best game yet. I don't think we're at our fullest potential. We're continuing to grow each day. You know, and as I said, we'll be ready for game number 4.
And what's this process been like for you personally? I mean, you've been on deep playoff runs in different roles.
Yep.
What have you taken from other guys that you've been around and worked for to use in this spot?
Yeah, as a young coach, I think you're a product of your influences and your experiences. And I've been around some Hall of Fame people and some of the best coaches of the last generation of coaches. And so, you know, I think you take a little bit from each experience. Have also come through some things in the American Hockey League and some good playoff series there. And you know, I think for me, I'm just fortunate that I get to work every day with people who push me to be my best. I'm fortunate that I get to work with a group of players that we get to work with, and like our players and like our team, as a coach, I have that mindset of trying to get just a little bit better each day, trying to find new ways to do things, new ways to help our team move the needle a little bit each and every day.
Jay, when you're behind the bench in a playoff game, you're obviously, you know, you're matching with Daryl, you're line matching, you're doing all this stuff. But when Connor's doing what Connor does, do you ever have a chance to step back for a split second and be like, I'm obviously a hockey fan, I'm watching something pretty cool here?
Yeah, you know what? For me, I get a front row seat to it. I get a nice level seat. What he's doing is special. And I said this last series was he's inspiring every person in our organization to be the best that they can be, whether it's Richard in the mailroom or Shauna in HR. You know, he's somebody with what he's bringing to the table each and every day. It is pushing this entire organization and our city forward. And it's special. And what I see every day that no one else in here gets to see, but his teammates do and his coaches do, is I see someone who's businesslike, who's professional, who's an unbelievable teammate, and is displaying a ton of leadership qualities. And we're thankful that he's our captain.
There's a lot of talk about, you know, we heard last night from the Flames about got to figure out a way to, you know, contain McDavid, or we were beat by one player tonight. Does that kind of focus on one guy present opportunity for some other guys on your team, and just kind of your thought about that narrative?
Yeah, I can't speak to what's happening in the Calgary Flames coach's office or dressing room. That would be a good question for them. I know for us, we felt we got really good contributions from all 20 who dressed last night. And, you know, our focus today is on how the 20 players that we're going to dress in that lineup tomorrow night are going to be ready to play our best game yet.
Your team has had some ups in these playoffs and some downs in these playoffs, but recently, have you noticed a little bit more of a steady progression that's maybe sticking in a different way?
Well, I think, you know, I think you have to account that other teams do good things as well. Last round, there were 16 teams left in the National Hockey League, and each one of them was in the playoffs for a reason. I think and now there's only 8 teams. when you have an understanding that regardless of the result, you want to return to your emotional baseline. You want to make sure that you're handling the successes as well as the tough times, that you're even keeled in your approach and you have faith in your own processes. We're here for a reason. We believe that we have the people in the dressing room that can get it done. And there's going to be some times where you have good nights. There's going to be some times where there's going to be some growing moments. But as long as we stay true to our first principles and maintain that belief in one another, I think we'll be in a good spot.
You've been around for 17 years. Just how's the way you communicate with players now compared to when you first started off? It seems like there's a lot more of an emphasis on one-on-one positive reinforcement now that maybe wasn't the case when you first started. So how's that evolved over your career?
Well, I think as a younger man, I was 28 when I first started, and there were guys on that team that were 10 and 12 years older than I was. And, I think that coaching staff did a lot of really, really good things. I thought it was cutting edge for its time. I think a lot of the way the game is played today is based on things that happened in that coaching room. And for me, I was at the entry-level position, so my ears were open. And, what I found at that time in that experience was that the best players in the world, a lot of them are Hall of Famers now. They just wanted to make sure that the information coming their way was good information. And that's what I learned about the best players at that time. I still find that now. I think the best players in the world still want to be led. They want good information. And, you're talking about communication and reputation as a communicator and all that kind of stuff. For me, as a coach, I just want to make sure that we're communicating good things and that the information that we're giving our players is exactly what they need and nothing they don't.
So when it comes to Connor McDavid, who seems like he's the best player in the world, how do you lead someone that's at probably the peak of their profession?
Yeah, well, as I said, I believe the best players want to be led. And I'm not going to go into every trade secret that we might have here in Edmonton, but there is day-to-day communication. And I can tell you, him being the best player in the world, he does crave information and he does crave coaching. And going back to my experience as a 28-year-old coach in the NHL with some future Hall of Famers, that was an attribute that those players had as well.
Hey, I have one more question. On Leon, you play Leon with Connor and Kane. Does it reinforce that he's a center, basically, and you've had him on left wing, now he's playing right wing, so the positions on the line don't matter?
Yeah, I think good players can adapt. And we're talking about world-class players there. I mean, Leon's a Hart Trophy winner for a reason. He has the ability to adapt to any type of situation. And you know how I operate. I sprinkle the infield and move chess pieces around all in most games. And I think the reason that we're able to do that as a coaching staff is because we have players with that level of hockey IQ and that level of adaptability.
But Leon is still taking all the face-offs, basically, on that line. Is that a concerted effort by him? Like, he and Connor are both left shot, but he's taking the face-offs, not Connor.
I think they're both good hockey players, and they can figure those things out on their own.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.